Hi, I'm Shine, and this is Divine Shine Tarot with a CelebriTEA reading on Wendy Williams, the mother of CelebriTEA, our tiara-loving, big-mouth Jersey girl, the original Queen of Tea. Wendy came to be known for spilling the hottest tea on gossip in the hip-hop and entertainment industry for decades on top Northeastern radio stations, and even more recognized from her greatly successful, nationally syndicated, self-named talk show. In recent years, Wendy's faced health challenges and many tragedies, such as losing her mother, her show, and her marriage, the pain of which is furthered by the alleged betrayals of her ex-husband and son, Kevin Hunter Sr. and Jr. More concerningly, she's strangely been held in a guardianship that has restricted her access to her own finances and reduced her once vibrant quality of life. There's been growing concern and support to get Wendy out of her current situation and living freely. Her take on hot topics is greatly missed every time the tea that she used to spill resurfaces via current celebrity news, such as the Diddy Freako trial. Let's do a reading on Wendy to see what the cards say. Remember, these readings are for entertainment purposes only. No facts, no truth, just tarot. I'll leave the timestamps down below. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button and leave suggestions for readings you'd like to see from me in the future. I appreciate any donations or shiny items you care to gift from my lists linked below, if you're inspired but not required. Now, I ask that the Spirit step forward to divinely guide my vision and messaging for this CelebriTEA reading on Wendy. Let's get started. Spirit, what can you tell me about Wendy? What's she experiencing? What can you tell me about Wendy's energy or future, Spirit? Will she be free of her guardianship soon? What's to come for Wendy, Spirit? Okay, so first we have the 10 of Cups, but this seems to have come out in reverse. So upright, the 10 of Cups speaks of ultimate emotional fulfillment and happiness, usually with one's family, with one's creative projects. So feeling alignment, complete contentment and fulfillment emotionally. But in reverse, this indicates a disharmony amongst family or loved ones. This could be relationship problems, arguments, a disconnection, even a breakup. But there's some kind of misalignment of values and emotional goals in her family or relationships. So since this is the first card to come out in Wendy's reading, this indicates there's a deep problem in Wendy's family foundation. We could assume this refers to her marriage, but this also can refer back to her childhood and her nuclear family. Maybe she experienced some abuse growing up in her household, or it was at least a very conflictive and dysfunctional family dynamic or environment for her to grow up in. So we have the 8 of Pentacles, which could indicate setbacks or obstacles to something someone's been working hard on. This could be due to external forces or a problem with one's own efforts, such as cutting corners, or maybe someone being such a workaholic and perfectionist that it is to their own detriment. Since this is next to the reverse 10 of Cups, if Wendy identifies with being a workaholic or a perfectionist, this could indicate a trauma response to some experience in her upbringing, where she may have been under a lot of pressure to be perfect and successful or face consequences. Then we have the 7 of Wands, which indicates someone trying to defend the success that they have gained, defend and protect themselves from attacks after reaching a certain height of success in one's life, career, or relationships. And then one more card here, we have the 2 of Wands. So as Wendy would say, this is about hatching a plan. The 2 of Wands is someone who has many resources and skills and options at their disposal to create or manifest whatever they want. So it's just a matter of making decisions and creating a plan for what's next. So maybe Wendy has a plan in motion to try to get herself out of a situation in which she may feel that she's under attack. Let's get some clarification on these cards thus far. Hit that like button if you find this reading helpful or entertaining, and subscribe for notifications of my horoscope, pop culture, and CelebriTEA readings. Spirit, please clarify the CelebriTEA reading on Wendy's energy. Spirit, ooh, okay. Okay, well, that's a good start. So we have here the 9 of Pentacles, and this is someone who is very self-sufficient and enjoying the fruits of their labor. So this says self-care, satisfaction, luxury, rewards, financial independence. So we know that Wendy was very independent and liked to live a luxurious life. So hopefully this card is an indicator of her soon being able to get back to that after her plan is realized. Okay, so we have the Empress upright, and this is someone who is very nurturing, but it also indicates that conditions may be very fertile for abundance and prosperity. This says abundance, nurturing, femininity, beauty, growth, fertility, evolution, action, nature. So this could be highlighting the maternal or feminine influences in Wendy's life, such as her mom, her sister, or this could indicate a very creative time. Maybe there are some creative ideas flowing to Wendy that she's excited to implement or eager to work on. So maybe this is a very favorable time for Wendy in terms of having good ideas, not only about how to get herself out of a bad situation, but also creative ideas that may be very lucrative and abundant for her. So that is really exciting to hear. But we did get this Five of Swords card in reverse, which indicates peace after stress. Someone feeling fair, approachable, assertive, a desire to forgive. Oh, wow. So maybe this card indicates that whatever conflict or whatever conflictive parties were involved in keeping Wendy in this guardianship, they may be willing to now step away from the stress and the conflict of the situation after it got attention. And they may be more fair and approachable in reassessing and changing the situation. So this is also a good sign. Wow, great cards. I'm so excited to see all of this for Wendy. So the Eight of Swords in reverse is about a sense of freedom, openness, empowerment, releasing negative thoughts, self-acceptance. It's about breaking free from something that was once keeping someone entrapped, whether it was due to some abuse or partially self-inflicted. The Eight of Swords in reverse indicates breaking free from that stagnancy, feeling stuck, or literally feeling imprisoned. So that is another really good card. And we have the Fool, a fresh start. Wow, I am so happy to see these cards for Wendy. She may be getting out of this sooner than we all realize. So the Fool upright says new beginnings, innocence, spontaneity, optimism, trust in life, wanderer, adventure, new path, and a free spirit. Oh, I hope this is true. I really hope that our Queen of Tea, Wendy, is able to enjoy her life freely as she should have all along. Let's just get a few more out for her. Interesting. So here we have the Judgment card in reverse. And upright, this means a certain self-reflective stage in someone's life where they have to assess if they've grown from their experiences before they step into their next chapter. Something more aligned with one's purpose. But in reverse, this could indicate that someone or something may be trying to block her from fulfilling her purpose or her calling, whatever she's meant to be doing in this lifetime. This card speaks of indecision, a false judgment, which stood out to me here, self-doubt, destruction, inner critic, a lack of self-awareness. And I get a feeling that this is not about Wendy. She herself is not doubting herself. There's someone around her that caused a false judgment, whatever legal judgment happened in order to get her in this conservatorship. It seems that it was maybe done under false pretenses. So maybe that will come to be discovered soon. We could only hope that would be the case if we have all these positive cards leading up to this. But also destruction. Obviously, Wendy being in this very restrictive situation against her will is destructive. So hopefully we'll be seeing an end of that. A lack of self-awareness may be those that are in charge or in control of Wendy's restrictions and estate at this time may lack the self-awareness of just how damaging and unjust their unfair limitations and entrapment are affecting her mental health. And for all people involved or that got Wendy in this situation to have more self-awareness may help Wendy get out of this sooner than later. So we have the Page of Swords upright, and this is someone who is very talkative, energized, curious, having the conversations, doing the research, making things happen in that way because they're inspired and energized. So this says restless, energetic, talkative, new ideas, curiosity, a thirst for knowledge. There's someone that may be researching to help Wendy hatch this plan and get out of this conservatorship situation. This could be someone that may bring some important information or be a messenger for her to bring awareness and transparency to what she's going through, to help expose the truth so that she may get back to enjoying her luxurious life and freedom. Again, really good cards. Love to see it. And we have here the Tower in reverse, which means averting a disaster. This says fear of changes, averting disaster, stormy time, restlessness, collapse. So maybe, also fear of changes, because when you're pushing to get out of some legal restriction like a conservatorship, I'm sure that it's risky where things could get better, things could get worse. So there may be some fear and hesitation of that. But for the most part, it seems like this is, again, a positive card indicating that Wendy may be avoiding some disaster, avoiding this collapse or worsening of her situation. Alternatively, this could be saying the bubble's about to burst on that guardianship. It may be built on weak foundations, and one way or another, that tower is about to crumble and be leveled so that Wendy's life could be rebuilt better on stronger foundations. And then we have this Four of Swords pointing to the rest and recovery one needs after a very stressful period, after enduring a lot of challenges and obstacles, especially if a stressful situation is impacting Wendy's health. So this says rest, retreat, new start, recovery, renewal, reflection, meditation, contemplation, withdrawal, relaxation. Very well deserved for Wendy to be able to recover from this experience and enjoy her life and her free will as she should. Let me also look at what's on the bottom of these decks, just in case. Ooh. So looking at the bottom of these decks, I wasn't going to take any more cards, but I just figured let me include these. They seem a bit applicable. So we have here the Two of Swords in reverse, and this indicates a sense of clarity, decisiveness, action, intuition, a very positive sign. Again, if this situation is picking up steam in the actual legal system and Wendy is able to get her conservatorship reviewed or reversed, it seems that there will be clarity and decisiveness assisting her in getting a favorable outcome. But we also did see this Page of Pentacles in reverse, and this is the youthful energy, someone younger or inexperienced or immature that may be greedy, maybe blocking Wendy and her finances. This says procrastination, distracted, inactive. Now, we did finally hear the allegations that Wendy is currently in this situation, possibly because her son, who she loves very much, may have triggered it through a very large purchase or suspicious transaction that caused her bank to question who may have access to her finances, and then somehow we ended up with her being in such a restrictive conservatorship. So I don't know if this is confirmation that he had something to do with it, that there was some greediness and blockage, financial obstruction there some way, but there is some youthful, immature energy that had something to do with Wendy's money that was not really positive from someone young or maybe someone who's an earth sign. Kind of, wow. Again, I was going to leave it here, but these cards, again, feel relevant to this reading, as do these. Gee, the bottom of the decks are really talking. So let's see. Let's take it from here. Let's get the positive first. So the Three of Wands, which is about expansion and growth upon something that is already showing indications of progress. So this is like scaling up. This says development, progress, teamwork, commerce, planning, expansion, overseas opportunities. So there may be a team of people helping Wendy try to get out of this situation and see more progress, or something having to do with international business or transactions from multiple locations. But then we have these cards here, which this Seven of Swords in reverse indicates someone that may get caught in some sort of deception. So this says revelation, freedom, being caught, punishment, rethinking approach. Someone that did Wendy wrong may get exposed. The people and motives may eventually be revealed. It may come to light who and how she got into this situation, because again, this is just an allegation. We don't know if that's true, that her son really had a lot to do with it, aside from hearing a snippet of Wendy in a radio show interview kind of mention it. But if there are other people involved, it seems that it will be revealed and people may be brought to justice or face consequences, since we see that punishment word on this card. And we are again seeing freedom, which we saw several times in this reading. So it's another good card, another good sign. Then we have the Three of Cups in reverse, which is about rumors, gossip, and betrayal. Also worth pointing out that it is a Cancerian card. Wendy is a Cancer, so she'll be celebrating her birthday later this summer, or perhaps before I get to upload this. So I'll say in advance, happy birthday, Wendy. So yes, this points to rumors, gossip, disloyalty, betrayal, rejection. So there definitely was some sort of betrayal, sabotage, and disloyalty that got Wendy in this situation. But the most important thing is that she's able to get out of it. And the rumors and gossip comes with the territory of being a public figure. But that may be trying to highlight that we don't have the full truth of what Wendy's going through, because it may be clouded in sensationalism. But since we have so many swords cards in this reading, we may get to the truth soon or eventually. The final card we had here was the Devil. So there may be dark forces at play that have been trying to work against Wendy, or people with bad habits or bad entities attached to them looking to feed off of Wendy's energy or resources, or people that are bad influences that have kind of been making things more difficult for her, not only in this conservatorship situation, but in the fullness of her life, in her personal life, in her family life. There has been a lot of destructive behaviors either within Wendy or around Wendy that have contributed to the karmic consequences or the difficulty of her current situation, such as substance abuse by Wendy or the people around her. Maybe there's a pattern of using hard drugs or alcohol to cope or disassociate, or strong attachments to vices that others may be exploiting to control and weaken Wendy. Someone may be using substances to manipulate her perception and credibility, strain her health, and create energetic blockages. So whether she's voluntarily or involuntarily taking something, this is something that Wendy has to work hard to remove from her life because it's being used against her. And just to read what's on the card, this says shadow self, attachments, addictions, restrictions, lust, temptation, destructive behavior, materialism, codependency, and toxicity. So someone remaining in a guardianship and living a very restricted and limited life against their wishes, feeling like you're in jail, is certainly destructive. Let me change my view here so that we can pull a few more cards. So I spread the cards out to be more visible so I can pull a few more cards because they were getting quite crowded. But the bottom of these decks are really talking. So I am continuing with these pulls. Here we have the Sun in reverse. This points to temporary struggles, failure, sadness, depression, negativity, low vitality. Oh no! Maybe this has really taken a toll on Wendy, knowing that she's already had difficulty with her health, but this must certainly be affecting her mental and emotional well-being. As we could imagine, for anyone, it would be very depressing to be locked up and limited against your will. Then we have the Magician card in reverse, which indicates someone that may be manipulative or narcissistic, and they target people that have something to take or have something they want. This says manipulation, poor planning, untapped talents, insecure, lack of confidence, narcissism. There may be someone involved that is controlling things around Wendy that is very narcissistic, which is not really a big surprise. Narcissistic people are usually very controlling and deceptive anyway. But we go back to the idea of betrayal and things coming to an end with this 10 of Swords. So it says betrayals, endings, painful endings, defeat, deep wounds, loss, crisis, failure, collapse, pain. Oh, that's concerning. That's not a good card necessarily, but usually this card indicates something that must come to an end, that's overdue for an ending. Things will end, but not in the most ideal way. It may come at a cost for Wendy. There may be some financial or mental and emotional damage that she has to endure to get herself out of this. But the good thing is, this indicates the end of a painful experience, which can't get any worse. So the only way out is up. Things will only start to improve from here on once that conflict or challenging situation comes to an end. Final card I'm pulling from this is the Six of Pentacles in reverse. This says debt, unfairness, selfishness, power, and domination. Oh, not happy to see this card either, because this card's about give and take between those with abundance and those in need or looking for charity. So this could indicate a sort of imbalanced, one-sided transactional relationship or vampirism, where someone's taking more than they're giving. So this may be indicating some of the consequences of Wendy being in this conservatorship with people controlling her finances for so long, is that it's going to drain her finances. It might cause her to not necessarily be in debt, but to have less than she should have, that she deserves. There may be someone that is taking away from the wealth that Wendy had amassed for herself. This conservatorship structure is likely a tool for that. It was probably intentional that she was placed in this because someone wanted to drain her of her resources. So it's concerning to see these cards at the end of these clarifiers. But I will pull a few more cards to finalize. Spirit, what final message do you have for this reading on Wendy Williams, Spirit? What final outcome could we expect for Wendy Williams? So we have here the 10 of Wands in reverse, which indicates burdens that are so heavy, they are overwhelming. So this might be saying that it is a really big hurdle for Wendy to try to get out of this situation she's in. And it's a matter of her trying to figure out how to delegate or alleviate herself of some of the responsibilities. So self-care and support or teamwork is needed to help Wendy accomplish her goal. Since this indicates she's really close to ending this challenging experience, but she may be feeling energetically drained or burnt out. So she needs a strong team or support system to help her get this over and done with. The right people need to help her to get things over the finish line. Knowing who to trust, knowing who could be the most helpful and responsible is very important for Wendy at this crucial time. Yikes. So we have the Nine of Swords, which indicates fears, worries, anxieties, insomnia, doubts, maybe even depression. We're seeing that for the second time in this reading. Wendy may have some regrets about something or someone, or feel very mentally affected by how difficult or delayed things are. We've seen a few bad characters and blockages in this reading thus far, which is very stressful for anyone to deal with over an extended period of time. She's worried about trying to get out of the situation. Very relatable. Anyone that's locked up that wants to be free and happy and enjoying their life and their riches would naturally feel a bit down. So I'm sad to see this for Wendy. But the positive is this Five of Pentacles indicates getting out of a struggle, out of hardships, improving health and finances. Wendy will start to recover after getting help to get out of this difficult and stressful situation. So it's giving a bit of a light at the end of the tunnel there. Okay, so we have that Seven of Wands again that we saw here earlier in the reading in the first row of pulls, indicating again someone who is trying to defend their position, someone who is on top and is under attack and is trying to protect all that they have worked for, all that they have earned. So getting this card again is highlighting how much of an uphill battle this is for Wendy. Someone's intentionally trying to attack, knock her down, or destroy her. Followed by this Wheel of Fortune card, which is another positive because this indicates that luck is on Wendy's side at this time. Fortune currently favors her. This card speaks of karma, fate, destiny, luck, and when it is in the upright position, it indicates that the changes that Wendy may experience at this time should be positive or favorable. I'll pull a few more from here. Okay, so we got the Five of Wands, which indicates conflicts, competition, arguments, disagreements. There may be too many chefs in the kitchen at this time that are involved in this Wendy conservatorship. People that are battling to be in control versus those that are battling to set her free versus those that are battling for whatever selfish intentions versus Wendy just battling to keep her sanity and enjoy her life at this time. So there are many self-interested parties and motivations involved that are in conflict in Wendy's situation. Even the people that are trying to help her maybe have conflicting game plans, conflicting approaches. The people that are trying to keep control are maybe battling each other. So all of that conflict and competition creates blockages or delays that are slowing Wendy down, preventing Wendy from advancing in her efforts and getting her freedom. Not the best card to see in this reading, but also not surprising. And the same here with the Nine of Wands. This is the wounded warrior who is trying to persevere and be resilient to protect and defend all that they had worked for, all that they amassed, all that is of value to them, their ego, their brand, their image, their livelihood, wealth, their assets, their rights, their freedoms, their quality of life. Wendy and those that care about her are trying to protect and defend that. Alternatively, we can also look at this as those that are trying to keep Wendy in this conservatorship may also be fighting to keep themselves in that position as well, to keep themselves in control, keep themselves in power over her. So this is just an extension of this card that indicated conflict and competition between all parties that have any special interest or stake in Wendy's conservatorship situation. This whole experience may have been a test or a lesson for Wendy to establish firmer boundaries against the people she loved or trusted, but they're actually wolves in sheep's clothing working against her, seeking to drain or destroy her. Energetically, this seems to be a tough battle of light versus darkness and something that has so many variables and influences. So we're not getting a clear outcome since it's still developing and can go either way. So I still didn't get much clarity here. It seems like an extension of this theme of conflict and difficulty for Wendy trying to get out of this, which the reading started off so positive when we first started pulling cards, and now it's gotten a bit turbulent. There are so many cards indicating the many challenges Wendy's facing with a lot of highs and lows, but at least there are some rays of light and hope and positivity and good fortune that we're also seeing. So it remains to be seen how this will turn out for Wendy, since things are still developing and changing. But let's just pull a few final cards here. Some final cards, because those were supposed to be the final, but I am still very curious about what the cards can tell me about our beloved Queen of Tea, Miss Wendy. Ooh, those tried to pop out. Okay. So first we have the Two of Cups here. So this signifies harmonious, mutually beneficial unions or partnerships. A partnership that's very well aligned, that has common goals, common desires, a really great friend or ally that Wendy meets or that she already has that may be helping her. This could also indicate a contract, a proposal, or a marriage. This may be trying to point to something related to her previous marriage or her ex. So her ex may play a role in helping this unfair and difficult conservatorship situation come to an end. And then we have the Devil card, but in reverse, which actually is a positive, as this indicates the ending of an unpleasant or negative experience. This card is about recovery, breaking free from attachments, and releasing limited beliefs, as we did get it here upright. So any dark forces that may have been contributing to the blockages that Wendy's experiencing, they may get neutralized or she manages to overcome them. So let's pull a few more cards and see what that means. We have the Page of Pentacles again. We did get that in reverse earlier on, but now we have it upright, which indicates the first steps being taken around some financial opportunities, some influx of funding or financial support that may assist in taking action to move things forward for Wendy's legal disputes, or just for her to be able to maneuver and make power moves with the sudden flow of money if the lack of or limit of financial resources was causing blockages or stagnancy, or maybe the ex's involvement is financially motivated. So again, Wendy and her people may be working really hard to try to get out of this situation. And there may be some new opportunity, like financial assistance of some sort, maybe helping with the legal fees or something to try to get her out of the situation, for her to get this recovery. Even looking ahead to if and when she gets out of this may indicate some financial opportunities that may be ready and waiting for her on the other side, since we'd all love to see Wendy dishing her hot topics again. Okay, we pulled out a few more here. They're kind of repetitive with some of the cards that we already got. We have the Two of Wands here, but this time it's in reverse. Originally we got it upright. So this indicates poor planning and procrastination. Maybe someone fumbled an opportunity or will fumble an opportunity to help Wendy. Or there may be someone sabotaging her plans, causing delays to her goals. And that may be part of why she's still in this situation. She's still working through some of these hiccups. And then we have the Ten of Pentacles, which I thought we got the Ten of Pentacles earlier on in this reading, but maybe not. There's so many cards under there that it may be buried under. Oh, I'm confusing it with the Ten of Cups. So now we're seeing the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, and this indicates problems and instability with family and finances. This is long-term wealth and legacy. This indicates a lack of resources, fleeting success, a lack of security, financial loss, and failures. Oh, I am not happy to see that card, because again, we've gotten in this reading so many positive cards, but also some very concerning cards pointing to conflicts with people around Wendy that may have bad intentions and be looking to drain her of her resources. So that card was kind of reinforcing that idea again. And then we have the King of Wands in reverse. So there's a man here, possibly a fire sign, someone in a position of power or authority that's abusing or misusing their power to maintain control over Wendy or something that belongs to her. This person has a huge ego and sense of entitlement over Wendy. Someone stubborn, opinionated, someone really demanding that has unrealistic expectations. They get fired up and make impulsive or reckless decisions that are not in Wendy's best interest. Oh boy, is that maybe her ex-husband or son? Maybe one of them is a fire sign. Or this could be someone unrelated to Wendy, but legally involved in the decision-making around Wendy that may be self-serving in what they are looking to do with Wendy's guardianship or finances. And let me pull out some truly final cards now. Okay. Oh, yeah. We got the Tower earlier in the reading. We got it in reverse, which was more positive, but now we're seeing it upright, indicating a sudden and unexpected disaster. So maybe there was positive progress happening in the efforts of Wendy Williams and her team trying to get her out of this, but there may be something that crumbles, some rug pull that they don't see coming that may thwart or maybe a significant setback to their efforts. So in the next few months, Wendy may experience some plot twist or roadblock that she'll have to fight to overcome and rebuild or regain her footing. And then we have that Nine of Pentacles that we got earlier on that I was so excited to see, that indicated someone self-sufficient, enjoying their luxuries. Now we're seeing it in reverse, which indicates actual setbacks. We see a lot of setbacks and burdens in this reading. And this card says frivolous, setbacks, poverty, false success, hustling. So Wendy may be hustling hard to try to protect all that she has worked for. And we got many cards from the Suit of Pentacles in this reading. So Wendy's money is a big motivator behind all the conflicts she's experienced and is combating. As we see a lot of significant setbacks and obstacles or obstructive parties in these cards. The challenges and setbacks that she is dealing with. Again, we were talking about setbacks there as well. It's so unfortunate that there seem to be many people working against her. And those people are petty, combative, and ruthless, indicated by this Five of Swords we got again. Remember, we got it earlier in this reading, but in reverse. Now we're seeing the Five of Swords again upright. And that means violence, conflict, abusive relationship, defeat, betrayal, selfishness, theft. Wow, we definitely saw that theme of selfishness a few times in this reading. And the theft and betrayal from the people that were closest to Wendy are indeed elements of abusive relationships that would elicit feelings of defeat. So I'm not happy to see these last few cards coming out as we wrap up this reading. I didn't think we'd be ending this reading on that note, but kind of want to pull one more card in the hopes that it will be positive. No. Oh yeah. Okay. So we have one here. So the Hangman in reverse indicates delays, stagnancy, blockages, resistance to change, hesitations, continuing with the theme of there being a lot of setbacks, obstruction, or resistance that Wendy's trying to overcome. And this suggests a need to change perspective or try something different to break through. Spiritually, this may indicate a big sacrifice that needs to be made or some profound life lesson that needs to be learned or confronted to break free, move forward, and successfully overcome this challenging life cycle Wendy's in. But finally, we end with the Six of Wands, which is victory, triumph. This is about someone getting public recognition and rewards for their achievements and success. So this is a really great and positive card for us to end this reading on. I hope that that indicates that Wendy will be successful in fighting for her freedom against all these opposing people or forces seemingly trying to crush her, and can restore her quality of life, enjoying her legacy and luxuries again. We want to see her getting her flowers for her memorable persona and her impact on the gossip world and entertainment industry. So that is the CelebriTEA reading on Wendy Williams from June 2025. Click here to view more of my CelebriTEA readings. Remember, these readings are for entertainment purposes only. Let me know your thoughts in the comments and mention someone you'd like to see me do a reading for in the future. Hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons for more of these pop culture, celebrity, and monthly horoscope readings. I wish you all abundance and opulence. May divine light radiate through your life. Keep shining.